we're going to be predominantly using this band. We are doing legs today. So first exercise, squats. Put the band on around your legs. Bring it to about mid-thigh. Okay, above the knees, but you can have it on the bottom half of the thigh if that feels more comfortable. Make sure that you have a band that has enough resistance to challenge you, but not so much resistance that you're not being able to open your knees up. The goal of this exercise is going to be 100% of the time to have your knees out. Okay, so you're pushing those knees out 100% of the time. You're pushing them out as you go down, and you're pushing them out as you come up. All right, so stance will be start at a little bit wider than hips width apart with your toes slightly pointing outward. This is the beginning stance. From here, change it to fit your needs. So we want stability. Whatever is the most sturdy stance for you is what I want you to achieve. In this case, this is the sturdier stance for me. Now, I want a big chest. Flatten your back, tighten your core, and go down as your knees open up to the sides, okay? Nice and controlled descend, so you're going at a nice slow speed, down and up. Try to focus on applying as much of the strain on your quads and your glutes as possible, keeping your chest up through the entire time as you push into your entire foot to push yourself out of the hole being the depth that you're going, okay? From the side, same stance, a little bit wider than hips width apart, toes pointed out, nice flat back, roll your shoulders down, bring your chest up with your knees out, down you go, okay? Now, if that feels uncomfortable, widen your stance a little bit, all right? And then down again. You can have your hands here in front of you. You can have them out in front of you. For stability, you can go ahead and hold on to something to help you achieve the high big chest with the flatter back while still having your knees out in both directions. Now, notice I am still tilting forward a little bit, okay? That is fine as long as I'm keeping a big chest, my back is flat, and I'm going as low as I physically can, okay? So, we're here. How would you create a more difficult version of this? You go deeper, okay? So in this case, for me to go deeper, I point my toes out even further, and then I'm able to reach a lower depth, pushing through all of my feet, my whole foot on both sides, keeping my chest nice and big and my back flat. I push away from the ground and come up, okay? Like that. Now, to decrease the severity of this exercise, we would use a chair. First would be holding on to something. Second would be the chair. The goal is not to sit and relax in the chair. The goal is to touch it so you have a marker to where you are trying to go. So down you go with your knees up and out, your chest big and up. You go down nice and slow, and you touch the chair with your bum, and up you go. Now, if you scoot back a little bit so that you can actually sit in the chair, you can go down, sit for a split second, and then come up. In this scenario, I really want you to avoid tilting forward and going up. Your goal is to use your legs. If you come down and you sit, and then all of a sudden you use your torso to bring yourself up and over, you're not using your legs or your bum anymore. So big chest, flat back, tight core, down and back up. Always knees pointing out. Now, when I say your knees need to point out, I don't mean stand with your feet to the side and now your knees are out. I mean you actively push your knees out to the side as you do the movement. If I go narrow and I put my toes out. My knees are naturally out because my feet are naturally out. But when I go down, they can come in if you don't fight it. You need to open them up and go down, okay? Now, your body will naturally be able to go lower the wider you stand. So be aware of that. Find what works the best for you and what gives you the best burn and workout on your quads and glutes. Exercise number 2, still using your band around your thighs in the exact same spot. Here, you're gonna need a flat surface to stand next to. We're gonna do kickbacks, okay? So lean against your surface. You do not want to be completely standing up straight because you will not have good enough sturdy footing. You want to be slightly away from the wall with a slight angle, okay? From here, you want to have your feet about shoulders width apart. Again, you're hunting for a stable, solid footing. With your entire foot pushing against the earth on your non-working leg, you're gonna take your working leg and you're just gonna kick it back, okay? Always keeping your core nice and tight, your back nice and flat. The first few reps of this might not feel like much, but as you continue going, you will start to feel a burn right in your glute right about here. Now, to make this exercise as comfortable as possible on your standing leg, go ahead and bend that knee a little bit, okay? So whether it's bend it and lean forward more, or just bend it where you were at, keep your back nice and straight with a slightly bent knee, and then kick back. This kicking back leg can be straight, or it can have a slight bend in the knee as well. Avoid kicking back so much that you create a crunch right here. You still want a nice tight back, nice big chest, and kick back until this is done and not crunching into here. If you need to increase the severity on that exercise, grab a band that has a little bit more resistance in it. Always repeat the same amount of reps on both sides. You're welcome to hold on to the wall with one arm, 2 arms, whatever gives you the most stability. This is where you should be feeling it. You're going up, waiting a split second, and coming down. Your tempo needs to be nice and slow and controlled. You're not ricocheting back in. Avoid ricocheting back in. We want you to fight against the resistance. So you really target that muscle by going as slow as possible while you fight the resistance. Okay, now, you don't have something flat. That's fine. Grab yourself a chair. Grab the back of it, all right? And now you have something to lean against. That is fine. Bend those knees just slightly, and back you go, okay? Remember, this is not what we want. Big chest, flat back, tight core. This is what we want, okay? There is absolutely no pause here. You're not putting your foot back down. You're swinging it back and bringing it forward and back. At no point does my working foot touch the ground within the set. I'm still pushing against the chair, but I'm not using it as a resting place. This is not what we want. This is not what we want. We do not want this, okay? I do not want to arch my back. You see how it's circular back? We do not want that. We want a flat back. We do not want to be resting like, I'm just resting here. No, okay? Push against the chair, bring your chest up with the flat back, okay? And then go into your working set. Pushing this glute back while you lift the leg with control. Now, leaning against the surface you're working with, you have the options of pointing your feet out as you push it back, forward or in. I like just having a neutral foot and allowing the foot to go wherever it really wants. Now, within this movement, you go straight back, okay? Now, you can also go at an angle. You're welcome to do this as well. Whatever you do, stay consistent with it through at least the entire program. When you come back around and do the program again, change it up. If you're going to be doing it on a weekly basis, run the course for 4 to 6 weeks. Then switch it up. If you're just doing this because you're on holiday or something like that, then it doesn't really matter. Choose what feels best. Just make sure that you do the same amount of reps on each side. Make sure that you're really controlling the resistance, which means fighting against it, keeping your core nice and tight so you're not dumping into your lower back, and not taking your legs so far back that you're crunching right here, okay? Just take it as far back as your bum feels that nice tight contraction, and then back down. Exercise number 3. We're gonna go down to the ground for this one because we're gonna do hip thrusts. Lay your back flat. Try to not have an arch underneath you. Just lay your bum out, bring your back flat on the ground. My entire back is touching the floor at this point in time. Your feet should be about hips width apart when you get started. Where your toes point will again be about your comfort level. What you want is you don't want to be so incredibly close to your bum with your heels that you feel your hamstring and your calves touching. Just go out slightly to the point where they're barely touching each other. Any further out, if they're not touching at all, is going to be too far. Now, just like with the squats, your knees go out. Your focus point on this is going to be 2 things. Your knees always fighting the resistance outwards, and your hips coming to a flat surface at the top. I do not care as much about how low you go with your bum as I care about you holding for a split second a flat tabletop. So with our feet in a comfortable position, you're going up to a nice flat tabletop and down and up and down. I am barely tapping the ground with my bum. You do not need to, but what you do need to do is that split second at the top before you go down. So I'm going down, and then using my glutes, your bum, I am contracting, squeezing, and coming up with them, squeezing them that much more at the top before I go back down. My knees are always pushing against the resistance. They're not caving in. This I do not want. I want your knees out. It should be slightly difficult to keep your knees out because we want to fight that resistance and build the muscle. You need to bring down the severity. Cool. Take the band off. Do the exact same exercise without the band. Other things that you can do is you can actually take this onto a seat. You do the same exact exercise, but we're going to do it with your shoulder blades against the seat, as so. Okay, so you're positioning the seat right below your shoulder blade, about the bra line of a female. Okay, you're again trying to bring your legs in just enough so this part of your body touches. Right, you're down on the ground. Okay, squeeze your bum, bring it up to a flat tabletop surface and back down. This exercise is not about you using your chest and just swinging yourself up and down. I'm not just rocking my torso from forward to back. This is not doing anything. Okay, I am taking my torso, keeping it nice and steady and tight, and using my glute. I'm squeezing into my glutes and bringing my glute up. Notice that my back didn't move that much. My chest is still in the exact same spot it was in. I'm still looking forward, but now I have a tabletop. Right? And then as I go down, my chest stays exactly where it was. Right? And I come up again with my chest staying exactly where it was. Right? Repeat as many of these as assigned. You're being mindful to always push against the resistance of the band with your knees. So as I go down, I am still pushing my knees out. As I come up, using my glutes and squeezing, I am pushing my knees out. Always. This would be me caving into the resistance. You are pushing out against the resistance and going up and down. On the floor. To increase the difficulty on this exercise, there's a couple of things you can do. You can go single leg, okay? So you bring one leg up and you're taking your weight against just a single leg. Now you're on the floor, single leg. I am not resting my leg that's out. You're not resting it on anything. Okay? It is out in the air and you're coming to a flat back using the glute that is solid on the ground. So the foot that's solid on the ground, that is the glute that you are using to push up and out. In this instance, you're not pushing against resistance as much, but you still are avoiding just caving it in, okay? As you push against resistance, it will activate the second glute and create a sturdy back that will support the exercise. You will find yourself pushing against the ground a little bit with your hands in the single leg. That is fine. Fourth exercise, your last one. For this one, we need the nice long band that you used in the last 2 days. With this guy, we're gonna do good mornings. You're gonna put only half of it on the ground and you're gonna step on it. And we'll show you it from the front first. You're stepping on it with a nice sturdy stance, again, about hips width apart. Your toes pointed wherever it is comfortable for you to be a nice, solid, supported torso on the ground, right? Now, your band is gonna hit you about here, right? You're going to stick your bum out behind you, go down to the band, and wrap it around your neck. Yes, I said your neck. It is now around your neck. If this is uncomfortable, take it slightly behind your neck, right onto the little divot of the bone right here, above your shoulders. Okay? Now you're here. This is not comfortable, right? So stand up. Okay? This is what we're looking at for your starting position. Now we are going to close the car door with your butt. We're going to pop it back. Okay? But we're going to pop it back for every rep. We're not just going to pop it back and keep it there. We're going to pop it back and bring your torso down as your butt keeps reaching for that car door. Keep reaching for the car door. Keep reaching for the car door. Is the car door there yet? Nope. Keep reaching. Okay, I found the car door. Closed. Come back up. Reach for the car door and close it again. Reach for the car door. Close it. Done. Come up. Okay? At all times, I am keeping my legs nice and straight. I am not locking out my knees, but they are straight. So a slight bend is perfectly okay. A significant bend, totally different exercise. So a nice slight bend to avoid yourself from locking your knees. Keep that stance at all times. We're not just bringing your torso down. You can't close a car door with your butt by just bringing your torso down, okay? You actually can only close the car door if you stick your ass out behind you. Stick it out. Now, how do you keep this band in a comfortable place above you? You keep your chest up. Roll your shoulders back. This will stay put where it's at. Look forward at all times. So I'm going down, closing the car door. I'm still looking at you, still looking at you. My chest did not at all cave. My shoulders did not come forward. I did not turn and down at the ground. Chest nice and big, shoulders nice and back. Still looking at you, still looking at you. Car door is closed. I'm coming back up. From the side. Nice solid stance. Your abdomen is nice and tight. We're using our glutes, our bum. You're rolling your shoulders back behind you, straightening your back, bringing your chest up, okay? This is not what we want. We want this, all right? Now, this butt needs to close that car door that is way back there. So, without just bringing your torso down, keep your torso nice and up, your chest nice and high, your gaze forward, reach back for the car door. Reach back, find it. Find the car door. Keep your legs nice and straight. Reach back, find the car door. Oh, there it is. Okay, now I can come back. Squeeze at the top right here. Go close the car door again. Close the car door. Keep your legs straight, your gaze forward, your back tight, your shoulders down, your chest out, and come back. Big chest at all times. Forward, butt back, back straight. And down you go. Tight core and in. I am not sinking into my core. I'm not just sticking my ass out and dumping into my belly, okay? My belly is nice and tight. My back is nice and tight. My chest is nice and up. Everything is tight. And then I'm just chasing the car door to close it, all right? Just getting back there. I'm closing the car door. Oh, all right. So I feel tightness here. My glutes are on fire. This is a stopping point. I have no reason to keep going. Keep going. You'll start to feel it in your back, okay? Stop before you feel it in your back and come up. So, do you feel it in your glutes? Do you feel it in your hamstrings? If you do, and it's a nice solid burn, stop there and come up. So, tight core, big chest, flat back, straight legs, butt back, and your torso will come down as your butt moves backwards. You are not standing straight and bringing your torso down like this. This is not what we want, okay? Even if you keep your chest up and you just come down like this is not what we want. If your weight is predominantly on your toes, if you feel a large percentage of the weight on your toes, then you need to stick your butt back, okay? When I stick my butt back and I chase the car door with my legs straight, the majority of my weight gets distributed in the heel of my foot. I could technically lift my toes, okay? You could do it with your toes up because my weight is on the back half of my foot. If you're strictly going forwards with your back and your butt you think is going back, but your weight is on your toes and you cannot pick your toes up, stand back up. Remember the car door is much farther back than you're touching and really chase it, okay? If this is your stopping point, this is fine. You can go up and down like this as long as you're sticking your ass out behind you. You're using this, squeeze it in, use it back. Squeeze it in, use it back. The farther down you go with straight legs, the more you're going to feel it in here, and use that to come back up, okay? Now, how to get into this from the side. Half of the band on the ground. Okay. Always support your lower back by tightening your core when you bend down, okay? Wrap your band around your neck, position it right about here, and tucking your abs in, come up, right? The band is sitting right here, right across my traps. It is not sitting up here. This is going to be hard on your neck. We don't want the band here, okay? You don't want the band here either, because this is just on your shoulders and it's going to roll up and bother you. So the band sits right at this little divot, okay, right here. That's where it sits. And it will stay there as you go up and down with the movement. You are welcome to hold on to the band as you go down and close the car door with your straight legs, your chest up, your back flat, and come up. If holding the band here helps you keep it nice and steady, by all means go ahead. Now, little trick. If you're having a difficulty understanding if you're doing the hip hinge correctly, stand in front of something that when you reach the car door, you actually feel it, right? So that I didn't feel anything, so I scoot back. Straight legs, big chest, tight core, and I push the car door back. Oh, look at that. My butt is touching this wall. So I know that I'm using my glutes by pushing them back and not just my torso coming down. I can pick up my feet because all of my weight is on my heels at this point. Now, I'm not just standing up with my lower back. I am taking my glutes, crunching them, and using them to drive me forward. Okay? So you go back, I can't touch it, so I know I need to keep going back. I can't touch it, so I know I need to keep going back. Oh, there I touched it. And up. All right? Now, how do you decrease the severity of this? You start without a band. You simply do it without a band until you get this movement in. This is enough of an exercise if you do it enough times. If you do not feel stable here, grab yourself your handy dandy chair. There is no reason you can't hold on while you go back, touch, and forward. Now, how do you increase the severity of this? You get a band that has more resistance. And that is it for today.